Stitched monsters versus vampire hordes. Who will prevail? In a desolate, bone-strewn landscape, a man and woman cautiously peer out from behind a crumbling structure. She clutches a pale-faced infant, her eyes wide with apprehension. "It looks clear," she whispers, her voice barely audible above the ominous silence. With a surge of adrenaline, the man shouts, "Go!" and the couple sprints across the barren terrain, leaving the safety of their shelter behind. A desolate cityscape looms in the distance, its skeletal towers piercing the stormy sky, hinting at a fragile beacon of hope. They find temporary respite behind a towering metal wall, peering out at the ominous cityscape before continuing on their perilous journey, the fate of their child hanging in the balance. The couple approaches a colossal, unidentifiable form stretching into the distance, bathed in the eerie glow of a fractured moon. "We'll have to go around," one says. Further on, they find themselves blocked by a collapsed structure. "We can't get by." The woman's face fills the frame, her eyes wide with growing terror as she clutches the child tightly, sensing the immense danger closing in. A pack of eerie, shadowy figures with piercing eyes closes in on the fleeing couple, their presence a harbinger of dread. The man, desperate to protect his family, is caught in a surge of green energy, his body convulsing in agony as he emits a scream. The woman, paralyzed by fear, can only watch as monstrous creatures with razor-sharp claws and cruel angular faces corner her, her child, and her dying husband. In the distance, a looming castle stands silhouetted against the night sky. Deep inside, a woman pleads, "But you've got to help us." But the stitched-together man responds coldly, "I do not have to do anything. You have presented your argument. I simply don't think it's enough to start a war. The vampires leave us alone, and we leave them alone." The woman insists urgently, "You don't understand. The vampires are not leaving you alone. They are poisoning the earth and the oceans in an attempt to render our atmosphere deadly." The man retorts with icy disinterest, "That will take centuries to achieve. I simply do not see the threat. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a dead man to revive." A surgeon works on a blood-soaked body, casually remarking, "Well, these will have to be replaced." As the woman is escorted away, one of her companions says, "I am sorry you traveled all this way for nothing." She replies in defiance, "There's got to be a way to convince him. Everybody is in danger." The stitched-together man replies, "My creator is not the man he once was. He has rebuilt his body so many times, I fear there is little left of the original. He was mad as a youth, so ere exempting, now he is." The woman interjects, "Completely fucking nuts?" He replies, "That is one way of saying it." A towering figure with glowing eyes proposes, "How about if we take you to the city and you can see for yourself?" The stitched-together man nods slowly. "Yes, we can do that." Beneath the eerie glow of a fractured moon, two figures ride down a desolate road, their motorcycles cutting through the darkness towards a looming mountain shrouded in shadow. The dense forest on either side of the road seems to watch their every move. A massive, hulking werewolf growls, its teeth bared in a menacing snarl. "This place gives me the creeps." A nearby stitched man replies, "You see what I see?" The werewolf responds, "Looks like they want to fight." The werewolf responds again, with glowing eyes, "Then they gotta fight." A frenzied battle erupts as werewolves and stitched monstrosities clash, tearing each other apart in a bloody melee. Jagged claws and grotesque teeth rip through flesh and bone, splattering the scene with gore as the creatures unleash their savage fury. Amidst the chaos of the brutal conflict, a vampire is staked through the heart. The massive werewolf faces off against a stitched-together giant. With a sickening crunch, the werewolf sinks its teeth into the stitched man, ripping away flesh. In the throes of death, a creature reaches out with its clawed hand, uttering a final, anguished "No!" In a dimly lit chamber, a figure exclaims, "Excellent," before a blood-stained table. A werewolf is strapped down to a similar table. Another voice cries out, "Wait, wait, wait, don't!" A stitched man, eyes wide with fear, stares up at a gleaming blade. Lay back. It will only hurt until you die, he is told. From a high vantage point, a group gazes upon a distant city, its dark silhouette a stark reminder of the encroaching threat. "Do you see now?" one asks. The stitched man replies stoically, "Yes." Using binoculars, one observes a landscape ravaged by a strange, sickly green tide. Another voice declares grimly, "They will kill the planet to make it their own." The stitched man clenches his hands in a gesture of grim determination, observing the chaos through binoculars. He states somberly, "We have to save them." One of his companions responds incredulously, "Are you nuts?" He replies stoically, "You said you wanted my help." Then he leaps into the fray. A line of refugees are herded forward by vampire-like creatures, their glowing eyes promising a gruesome fate to anyone who dares to resist. The terrified woman, clutching her child, is forced to trudge onward, trapped between a looming city and a shadowy wall. The stitched man, his face etched with determination, declares, "Let them go." A pack of bloodthirsty vampires descends upon the helpless refugees. The stitched man wades through the carnage, tearing through the creatures with savage force. As the vampires' bodies fall to the ground, his companions look on. One asks, "Should we help?" The other replies grimly, "I don't think he needs our help." The stitched man continues his bloody rampage, cutting down vampires left and right. He grabs one vampire, tearing through it with brutal force. As he is attacked by a vampire, one of the refugees cries out, "Oh no, you don't!" With a ferocious roar, the stitched man smashes his fist into a vampire's face, the force of the blow causing a horrifying explosion of blood and gore. A towering figure with glowing eyes asks, "So, what do you think?" The stitched man replies, looking out at the distant city, "I will fight and I will convince the others." The vampires must be stopped. In a gruesome laboratory, the surgeon remarks, "Despite your transformation, there doesn't seem to be any biological cause. Must be in the blood. Fascinating." Meanwhile, the stitched man screams, "Father!" He demands in a rage, "What have you done?" The younger stitched man, bloodied and bruised, snaps, "Done? I am working." The hulking werewolf growls, "Nah, we will need him." The stitched man pleads, "Leave me alone to speak with him." The elder stitched man replies, "Thank you." The surgeon, holding a stitched man, says, "Your madness is truly becoming a problem, Victor. You cannot simply dissect anyone you like." The younger stitched man replies weakly, "But it is how I learn. How else will I learn the secrets of life and death?" The elder stitched man says, "We must help them, Father. Right now, we are strong enough to hold off the undead, but if we don't intervene soon, we won't be." The other stitched man responds, "If what they say is true, how can we trust them?" The elder stitched man insists, "I have seen Vampire City and what they say is true." He then asks his father, "Father?" The woman, werewolf, and other companion are now amongst a huge, uneasy crowd of stitched and human people. In the background, on the edges of the village, can be seen other creatures with glowing eyes. The stitched man declares, "Is Isonides done? True.